Hi from Sweden. My name is Fredrik. I run this channel Moped and Garage, eller Moped Garage som säger in Sweden. I'm doing this in English this time because maybe this video will attract some international people. I don't know, but I do see that some viewers are not from Sweden, and I think that's kind of fun. And this product is maybe bigger down in Europe than in Sweden, so yeah, I think I'll do this in English as well. And also it's a it's a very fine it's a very good moment for me to express myself in English, because I don't do that very often. So now I have the time to train a little bit. So this is a diesel heater that I got from Vevor. I've told in Swedish, maybe you don't know, I bought a new Ape 50 a couple of weeks ago, and at the same time I was looking for a new diesel heater for my Ape, because in Sweden we have things called winter. It gets like 10, 15, 20 degrees minus, and a diesel heater is a fine, mighty fine investment for an Ape, because the smaller 2 kilowatt diesel heaters, they draw so little current, and so very little diesel fuel. So I think it's a very good investment, because we get a stable heat source. I have had the diesel heaters before, which I'm very satisfied with. So I think this product is going to be the same. And as I was browsing the internet for a new heater, Vevor reached out to me and said, "Won't you do a product video for us?" And I thought for myself, yeah, maybe. Or after a couple of days I said, yes, let's do it. So today we're going to look at the diesel heater. Further in the future we're going to mount the heater in the Ape. Not today, because the Ape is still at the workshop. I got it new. I rode it from Västerås to Södertälje. It was like 140 kilometers. After that I had to go to a workshop, because brake pedal is vibrating when you hit the brakes. Fuel gauge is like this when you turn in a corner, and yeah, we call it small adjustments. And it's finished. The workshop called me today, so it's finished and ready to be picked up, but I didn't have the time for it. But in the future we'll do a video of me mounting it, maybe also that in English, I don't know yet. So we start by taking the heater out of the box, and we're gonna look at it together. I'm gonna go in maybe a bit detailed, because I like to check things like in detail. So yeah, and now I talk too much. I think we're just gonna rip the box open and let's check it out together. Okay, so for you international viewers, I'm doing this video in Swedish as well, and in the Swedish version I'm doing all the things before I record it in English. So box is already unpacked, and here's the stuff that was inside the box. We have the actual heater over here. We have some piping or some hoses, exhaust hose, and this is for the intake, and this is for the heat outlet. Have the cable, call it cable harness or cable mat, or yeah, harness. Harness is fine. Cable harness. We have the control unit. We have a remote, and of course papers, instructions or installation manual maybe. This is the mounting plate. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it on the Ape, but I need it for I think we're going to test the heater, start it up tonight, and then we're going to need the mounting plate. And here we have the exhaust, fuel pump, a fuel hose, and I have some kind of heat insulating sleeve, I think, for the exhaust. And here are some mounting accessories like cable ties, hose clamps, screws, nuts, This is the intake, what do you call it? Intake noise reduction or filter unit. Maybe it does both stuff. Reduces noise and filters the air for the combustion air intake. And here we have the warm outlet. Yeah, heat outlet. Heat outlet. Yeah, heat outlet. And that's the stuff that was inside the box. And the exhaust pipe, I tried it with a magnet. For me, it looks like this is made of stainless steel because the magnet doesn't attract to it. So we know that for sure, or I'll try this as well. Yeah, this is probably, and I say probably because there are like 7 types of stainless steel, and some stainless steels are actually magnetic, but I don't think this is magnetic because on my Ape I drive today I have basically the same heater kit, and the exhaust has rusted off completely here in the where you attach the exhaust pipe, exhaust hose, exhaust pipe, yeah, exhaust pipe. The corrosion was too bad at the junction here, the connection, so it completely rusted off. So this is not stainless. But that's the complete kit, and I think at least, or not at least, it's more than enough with the parts you need for actually mount and start the heater. Because even if you yeah, a viewer doesn't know where you're going to put this kit, in a truck, in a trailer, or in your home or a garage, whatever, and the stuff they send you with the kit is more than enough just to mount the heater and get it started. Maybe, or like always, you have to do some special mountings or relocate stuff, or yeah, do some special or extra work. So I think this kit is like fine. It's basic, and you also all the time you're mounting this, you have to do what do you call it, a specific yeah, each this is why I'm doing it in English, because it's hard. For each installation you have to do a specific kit, or like you have to take the things you need. You have to get the things you need, because Vero can supply everything for all or every type of installation. I think I got it right. So we're gonna open up. I think we start with the heater body, and we can look inside the heater body, and we can see how it looks. Okay, so here's the heater. It's stripped down. It's basically a copy of Ebersprecher D2, I think they're called. And that's not like a bad thing, because the D2 heater is it's actually a kind of nice heater. I've done some work on the Ebersprecher, and this looks like almost the same. Basic working principle. The fan turns around like this, sucks air into here, and the air gets thrown out on the outside of the heater and over the cooling fins. Heat exchanger. Yeah, nice learning a new language. It's not a new language, but nice practicing a language. So and you have the heater engine, heater motor here, and on the other side of the heater motor shaft there's another, it's called impeller, maybe, fan wheel on the inside. So you also have a fan wheel in here, which draws in air from the outside into this tube or connection. This is combustion air, so the fan turns around, it sucks in air, and the air inside the combustion chamber gets the air inside the combustion chamber goes this way, and through this pipe from the fuel pump, We have the diesel fuel goes in here and up here, and the pump is pumping. Then we get some small particles. The fuel gets atomized, I think it's called. And also inside the heat exchanger or the burn chamber, we have the glow plug, which goes down here, maybe to here somewhere, in close proximity to the fuel pipe. And the atomized fuel gets heated up to the point where it starts to burn, and then we have a combustion, like a flame inside here. The flame, it burns, you know, Johnny Cash, burns. And it's heating up the heat exchanger, and then we have the air from the outside of the heat exchanger goes like this, and through the casing and out into your Ape, or whatever you want to put this, like in your garage or RV or trailer or whatever. So the heater itself, the D2 heater, or like any air heater, it's kind of basic design. It's very easy to install, because you don't have to route any water hoses. You don't have to think like yeah, I'm kind of old. You don't have to fiddle around with the fan control, because yeah, sometimes you have to put in a relay and you have to turn the fan control to like number 1 or 2, and when the water heater starts, you have an electric water pump that triggers via the heater. So nothing of that, because the air heater, it's like this unit, it sends in hot air like from the start. You don't have to heat up some heater core or water inside the engine. It's just hot air directly out from the heater. Very easy design. The Eberswäscher is it's a nice piece of kit, and this also looks like, yeah, it looks like an okay heater. I can feel there's like some sharp edges over here. The housing is marketed as a sandblasted housing, and I don't really know why you have to put it in the sales brochure, because you have to do something with it. If you sandblast it, or if you like just do a normal deburring or anything, it's like, for me it feels like they just have to put something in the brochure that sounds good, because sandblasting is kind of cool, maybe, I don't know. It's not bad or anything, I just find it funny because you have to like say it's sandblasted, no, whatever. Here's the brain box, the ECU control unit. We have the display over here. I don't know, it looks like there's a temperature sensor here. I don't know if you have, because the heaters can have like two ways of controlling the temperature. Either by you set the fan speed and the oil pump frequency to a fixed position, and then you have a heater, or then you have a heat output that's fixed. Or you can have a temperature sensor inside the cab, and you can measure the temperature inside the cab, and let the heater heat up the air inside the cab to a fixed position. I don't know what type of system I would prefer. I think the fixed heat output I feel it's like better for me. Maybe it's just because I'm old and I want the machine to do as I want it to do, not something else, but I don't know. We have to see, because some of the heaters like have an internal temperature sensor inside here, and they are meant for recirculating the air from, you have the heat output here, you go take it into the cabin, and then they have a temperature sensor here that's supposed to reroute the air from the cabin into the inlet again, so the temperature on in the inlet side can also be measured, and by measuring that you can control the heat in the cabin. I don't really know how this heater is supposed to work, but I think we're gonna find out eventually. Yeah, like, I don't really find anything necessarily bad with this. So I think we're just gonna put it together and try to fire it up. I was interested in just looking at it because, yeah, you never know. Actually, I think this is the temperature sensor, maybe. If I remember correctly, this should be the temperature sensor over here. Yeah. So this is the heater itself. I'm gonna put it back together. We're gonna take a look at the harness and the other stuff, and take it from there. Okay, so we're gonna have a quick look at the wiring harness. There's some things about this that I don't actually like, but the thing is, Vevor, as I said before, Vevor doesn't maybe know where I'm gonna install this one. This connector over here, it's not sealed on the back side. And for me, I'm not gonna put this inside anything. I'm gonna put it on the outside, under the body, under the bed of the Upper 50. And I would need a sealed housing or sealed contact, because yeah, the other side is also not sealed. The thing is, there's always a risk of getting moisture inside the wiring harness, or at least the contacts. And you know, they get all green and yeah, gooey, not so nice. So at least for this one, I would like it to be sealed. Maybe also this one, the connector for the fuel pump, because it's also not sealed. I think it's not sealed because it feels very loose. And would you have rubber seals, it would be not so easy to move around the cables. I think it's not sealed. I don't know, but I think it's not sealed. It actually feels kind of nice when you put it together and you hear that distinct click, because then you know it's together and you don't have to worry about it. So that feels kind of assuring. You know it's in. This one is the connector for the control module, control panel. You know, this one. And this one is going to sit on the inside, so this not being sealed is not a problem for me, because I don't think it's gonna rain on the inside. I don't think it's gonna rain on the inside, but you never know. Also a distinct click, feels nice to put together and take apart, no problems. The quality of this maybe not feel like the best, but actually we can talk about it for now. Oh, it's okay. So you put this in on the, yeah, where you want to put it, and then you have this loose. Nice, because on the older ones, I think it was screw holes through here, and you had to drill and mount the cable and everything. But this is easier. You just put it where you want it, and then you push in that one. Nice. That's good. Easy to install. The pricing of this one. Would this have been an Eberspeicher, I think it would have been like, yeah, it's hard to talk economics now when the world is upside down. Like 1,500 euros something for this. Like if it would have been an Eberspeicher, the same basic install kit like this, I think around somewhere there. This one costed like 1/10 of that, so around 150 euros ish. I'm not completely sure, but yeah, it's a big difference in price. And for me, I ride the Ape almost all. I ride it all year around, but I don't ride it as much in the summer as I do in the winter because of, yeah, Swedish winter. And for using the heater like a short period of the year, or yeah, maybe 4 months, 5 months if you want it on the autumn as well. I can't see myself buying the original one for the high price they require for it. And I have a like almost the same. I think it's the same. It looks the same, but it doesn't have the Vibor stickers on it. But it looks like the same heater. I have it for like 5 years, and it works fine for those years. And I haven't serviced it. I haven't done anything, which I know is not the correct way of doing it. You should service this at least once a year. New glow plug, new or clean the burn chamber and like, yeah, stuff like that. But I didn't do anything with my heater, and it still runs. And yeah, sometimes I get exhaust in here in the cabin. Sometimes, not so frequent that I think I have to fix it. Just sometimes, and just like a minute or two, and then it's working fine. So for that amount of money, yeah, you get what you pay for. But for me, it's totally fine, because it does the work. It does what it's supposed to do, and it does it well. Will it last 5 years? Will it last 10 years? I don't really know, but the one I have has lasted 5 years, so long, and that's completely fine for me. I mean, 1/10 of the price for 5 years. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I think the pricing and you get the complete install kit. I can't. Yeah, as I said, I can't see myself buying the original one, but when you have this. So it's for me that yeah, I'm not completely dependent on the heater as well, because if I would be, like, say you're heating your house with it and it's your only heat source, yeah, you shouldn't rely on just one heat source. That's another thing. But for me, that heats the upper, yeah, completely fine. It works just fine. We haven't started we haven't started this one yet, but I think it's gonna work fine, and I think it's gonna be a really nice heater. So I'm really looking forward to that right now, because we've been looking at this, and yeah, I want to do something. I want to put it together and then just get it started. So that's the next step, and I've talked enough. Let's get to work. Let's get this one running, and we'll take it from there. Okay, and before we start everything up, I would like to point out, where are we? Yeah, I feel really professional now. The fuse for this one is over here somewhere. Yeah, like this. It's a smart fuse, or a fuse holder, or kind of fuse box, because you can see the fuse inside, if it's burnt or not. That's nice. And this one is also not sealed in any way, so indoor use only, which is, I think, not a problem, because at least for me, I have the battery inside, so yeah, no problem. And the fuse is, I opened it before, it's 25 amperes in the fuse holder, and the manual says you need a power supply with 15 amperes constant supply. So it's a bigger fuse, but maybe the 15 amperes is the actual current that the heater is needed to start with the glow plug and everything, and 25 amperes are in the fuse is only so you have margin for it to start. And also, I would like to point out, I'm not completely sure that this will work, because I referred to the manual. We're here, and the manual said you should have the fuel supply in the tank, and the tank should be above the heater, or at least above the fuel pump. And I think it's because you want flow into the pump, or pressure into the pump. Now the pump has to suck. Do you say suck? Yeah. The pump has to pull up diesel from the bottle over here. So I'm not completely sure this will work, but we'll have to see. Okay, so we're up and running, and this is actually working. I was a bit insecure with the fuel tank being lower than the pump. I had to prime the pump not the correct way. I had to start the heater and let the pump start, the normal start sequence. I didn't get the pump, what do you call it, manual pumping sequence to work. The manual told me one thing, I tried it, but it didn't work. But it's the fuel lines are so short, so it started on the second attempt anyway, so that's okay. Yeah, so now we're up and running. I put the heater to a kind of high setting and let it burn for a couple of minutes, and then we can start do some measurement on at least the fuel förbrukning. Yeah, the amount of fuel it will need for 1 hour, and also maybe measure some power from the battery. Okay, so here we can see, I think, a problem with the fuel hose. This softer hose makes a perfect, I don't know what you call it, but you can see the air bubbles going back and forth because the fuel hose is so soft, so the air bubbles doesn't get anywhere. It just tends to stay in the same place. I would like the harder, like almost air lines, stiffer plastic hoses, because when the pump is pumping, it actually gets the bubbles pumped away and not just going back and forth like this one is doing. This is also the suction side, not on the pressure side. So we can switch views over to here. Maybe we can see if we have the same problem. No, it actually looks better on the output side, on the pressure side. So that's good. Okay, so for now, the heater is started up. It's running okay, or actually it's running kind of good. I measured up 100 milliliters of diesel fuel in the cup. The suction hose is down in the bottom. It's secured nicely secured with the clip. Yeah, whatever you call it, the hose clamp. And I'm gonna start the heater, and the funny thing, I can't find in the manual how much the fuel consumption is at low setting. But as I said, we have 100 milliliters. I will just go with that and see how many minutes it will run till it starts going out of service, or just stops working. So not a real what do you say? Not a real professional test, but yeah, it gives me a kind of does it how do you say? Is it proving what it's yeah. Never mind. We'll show. It will show if it's the output values are realistic to the fuel consumption. So we will go with that. Not so professional test, but at least we get a big picture of it. Okay, so the heater is set to the lowest setting. You see the clock. And now we'll just keep the heater running for as long as it will run, and then we'll see how many minutes it will. Yeah, it will be. So now we play the waiting game. Okay, so the heater is slowly ramping down. Okay, just when I said it, it starts pumping again. I think we ran out of fuel, and now the heater is doing the startup procedure again. But we have no fuel left in the canister tank, so it won't start. But almost exactly 1 hour from starting time. I can turn that one off now. Don't need that. Yeah, it's talking. So now it said stop heating, and now it's turning off. So the manual or the brochure on the internet said 1.3 deciliters. Do you say it so? 130 milliliters an hour in the low speed setting. And the heater has gone in the low speed setting for almost exactly 1 hour on 100 milliliters. So I'd say fuel consumption is maybe it's spot on. It's close to spot on at least. I'm at sea level now, maybe like 5-10 meters over sea level. Not so big difference. Inside here we have like 15 degrees centigrade. So maybe it's maybe the conditions for the heater are good for a low fuel consumption, but yeah, it feels like it draws the amount it says it should draw. So yeah, that feels okay. That feels okay. And I must say, the heater has gone now for I ran it before, and now I did like this 1 hour test, and no smoke, no fumes, no nothing, almost no smoke, or no smell. Sorry, almost no smell as well. And that's yeah, I'm kind of impressed.
I wish you a safe journey.
Yeah, safe journey. I read in the manual that you were able to turn off the speech or the sound. I think I'm gonna do that because I don't really like the speech. And also about that, the manual is over here. I tried to follow the instructions for setting like from Fahrenheit to Celsius, but I didn't get it to work. And then I started pushing random buttons and saw what's happening. And I think the manual is not true to the controller I have, because it doesn't work on the same way. I have experience with the controllers from other diesel heaters, where the controllers inside, the outside matches with the connector and like the display and everything, but the logic inside is not the same from model to model. So even though they look the same, they don't work the same. Maybe that's the problem here, because the manual says one thing and it doesn't work on the same thing. So yeah, basic function is still okay. And as I said, I'm quite surprised it doesn't smell or smoke anything. Even though the fuel ran out, it didn't start to smell or smoke. So that's kind of good. But okay, one last thing, I think, before we go, and that's trying to confirm this 10-liter tank. It says, you see, 10 liters. Yeah, it says 10 liters, but that's how thin it is, and that's how, yeah, too close. I don't think you can get in 10 liters. 5 maybe, but not 10. So try to confirm 5 or 10 liters and then call it a day. Okay, my friend. So to summarize this, I feel quite happy with the heater itself. I think it's gonna work. It's gonna suit my needs just perfect. I'd like the small heater, the 2 kilowatt heater, because if you have a bigger one, the small cabin of the Ape will get really hot, and the heater will go down to low setting, and maybe the low setting will be too hot as well, so it will go down to off state. The 2 kilowatt is something in between. The high power is too hot most of the time, and the low power is almost too low, but it still has to run for on the low setting. That's why I chose the 2 kilowatt, that, and also the low power consumption. This one, the complete heater unit, I think it feels no, not kind, it feels nice, it feels okay, or almost, yeah, it feels good actually, not almost good, it feels good. I'm not really that impressed I'm not really as satisfied with the wiring harness as with the heater. I'd like the connectors to be sealed on the back side, so we have a waterproof connector, because I'd say most of the time the heaters, or at least the harness, are outside of the vehicle, and then you should have a sealed connector. And also this one doesn't feel as it doesn't give me that quality assurance as the rest of the components do, actually. As I said before, I've worked with the D2 diesel heaters before. I mean, the exhaust pipe maybe not as good as the Webasto heavy pressure and things like that, but I don't care about that. Those are small parts, I can buy new ones, no problem. But the control unit, the wiring harness, we're stuck with that, and yeah, I'd have to put this one in some kind of maybe a small box or something, electric box under the bed of the Ape, so it won't get corroded. But yeah, really also not a big problem. We can manage, no problem. Overall, I'd say if someone asked me, I would recommend it. I've only had good experience with diesel heaters, as long as they're not used for overnight sleeping. I'd say for every other usage, it will be fine. It will be more than fine, actually. So this has also been a journey for me, talking in English again. I've done some early videos here on YouTube where I spoke English. Not as easy as you think when you look at it, but it's okay. I have to practice as well. I would like to thank you for watching this video. I would like to thank Vevor for sending this to me and giving me the confidence to do this. And also the support for doing this. Thank you. And I would almost like to thank myself for doing this. I don't know. Sounds egoistic to say it, but here we are, thanking everybody and ourselves. Yeah. Next time, or next part of this series, yeah, it's a two-step video. Next part will be mounting this inside my new Ape, which is not here for the moment, but I will pick it up, and then we will put in this heater. That's the next step. So for now, we say thank you, and yeah, bye bye. Have a good one.